I think when Americans hear that immigrants are being deported for drug offenses, they imagine a foreign drug cartel leader. They don't imagine people who grew up here, who are green card holders, who have U.S. citizen family, who have children and spouses and parents, who may have made a mistake and yet are forced to pay the price forever.
Melida Castro is a native of Guatemala and a legal permanent resident of the United States who came to this country in the 1980s with her family, seeking opportunity.
I am American. This is my country.
But sometimes working, paying taxes, and integrating into American culture isn't always enough. Without full citizenship, a tiny mistake from your past can come back and destroy everything you've built, which Melida learned the hard way.
Immigration, they come and knock at the door. He didn't explain nothing to me. He showed me a mugshot and he said, I got a warrant for your arrest.
One fateful night more than 20 years ago, Melida was pulled over in a routine traffic stop, unaware that two of her passengers were in possession of a small amount of cocaine. But everyone in the car was arrested. Because of the threat of deportation, a lawyer advised her to take a plea for simple possession, a misdemeanor.
I was appointed to a lawyer and the lawyer told me, you don't have no trouble, you just gotta plead guilty, pay a fine, do some community hours, and you're gonna be fine.
Though she is a green card holder who had passed her citizenship test, Melida's questionable scrape with the law took her away from her 3 children and a mother suffering from Alzheimer's, and forced her into one of the most draconian and inhumane pockets of the American legal system, a detention center almost 2 hours from her home, where she was forbidden from even touching her children during visits.
My little daughter was touching me, and the guard yelled at her so bad. And then after that, they brought you to a room, knowing that you don't touch your family. They make you take all your clothes off, and then they make you in a position like a squat, and you got a cuff.
How does someone with one minor blemish on their record, whose debt is supposedly paid, end up locked up with no legal recourse? Grace Meng of Human Rights Watch, who published a report detailing dozens of cases like this, explains.
The increase in deportations is largely because the Obama administration has really focused on deporting anyone with a criminal conviction. And in this country, drug arrests are quite common. From 2007 to 2012, over 250,000 non-citizens were deported whose most serious conviction was a drug offense. And among that number, we know that the most common type of conduct was possession. Once deported, that ban is permanent. You can never return to live with your family in the U.S. again.
While Melida was detained, her mother, suffering from Alzheimer's, was left without her primary caretaker. Melida was also unable to help her pregnant daughter as her due date approached.
It was so devastating not having her there. And I miss her going into the hallway and calling my name. I woke up every morning anticipating that, and it wasn't there. So the house just felt so empty. Our biggest fear was losing our mom, obviously, but then also how do we react to losing our mom? What were our options? Do we go all the way back to Guatemala? Guatemala is beautiful, but it's just a scary place to be. Or do we stay here and kind of love our mom from a distance, which is terrible because she should be here.
After 7 months in detention, and after accruing extensive legal bills, a judge ruled that Melida had never been a drug trafficker and set her free. But because of a broadly written law and its blunt enforcement, she missed many of the final days of her mother's life, the birth of her grandson, and to hear her tell it, she missed a lot more than that.
My kids, hug them, kiss them, be sure that they walk the right way to school, that nothing is gonna happen. My plans, my music, my family, my food, the laundry, the smell of the laundry, things that you don't think that you're gonna miss. Yeah, it was hard, real hard.
What can be done to alleviate the needless suffering of law-abiding residents of the United States who may or may not have ever committed a crime?
There is so little political appetite to do anything that helps immigrants. That laws that many people recognize are unfair, that are leading to families being separated, torn apart, they're continuing to stay on the books and they're being enforced to the hilt.
Though she has already passed it once, Melida is scheduled to take her citizenship test again, and if all goes as she hopes, at long last, she will be an American citizen next year.
This is where I really belong. This is my house, my family. My kids are here. All of them are born here, my grandkids. So this is home for me.